We found another one, John. I'll send you a link for this other one. Which is
have
really
you
good.
upgraded to professional one on this?
Yes,
yeah,
we have.
We have as well.
Lowest one.
Yeah,
not the free one, the lowest paid one.
Yeah, we have as well. It's like $25 or something, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, I think it's £20 something into £20 and pence or something like that.
I'll tell you what, though, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it is not many for what you can do.
Oh God, yeah.
So, coming in. So good evening, everybody joining us. I'm not going to do all the naming and the call outs and the shout outs because I don't want to ignore people that I might not see. So welcome everybody to tonight's live chit chat show with Ozzy and John Sixthsense with Joe.
Where spirit meets science. You forget where spirit meets science. You've got to say
I know, I forget though.
That's it.
I forget. Honestly, I think this lockdown sending my brain into like brain freeze. I think I'm getting Alzheimer's early because I forget things.
Well, it's either John Sixthsense or the bold one and the beautiful one.
That's it.
The bold one and the beautiful one is what we're known as. So
beauty and the bold.
That's it. I've never been the beautiful one, unfortunately. Right, I'm going to start a watch party on my page.
No worries.
Party.
So you can see all chat, can't you, John?
Yes, yeah.
So what we'll do is if we let you guys talk like we did yesterday, and get everything that you need that to put out about yourselves, and about your mediumship and everything else, and then when you finish, just say I'm ready, because otherwise I'll be putting questions up on screen and just totally taking you off track.
It gets me when we do
that. What you're actually talking about. So
don't worry, we are used to it. We used to like reading comments like quick and that, don't you worry. So.
See, we're not. So
Wild Bill came on other week and we kept popping questions up and we just kept putting it totally off.
Oh yeah, it was just like conversations just started going down different paths because questions had come up, so it took us off track. But no, thank you so much anyway for both of you coming on to join us tonight.
Anytime.
We really appreciate it, especially because this lockdown, I think everybody's like struggling at minute to get that content coming in on the channels because everybody's used to doing investigations and it's just like mind-blowing at minute. So we do really appreciate you both coming on for a chit chat, so our lot can pick your brains if they don't already know.
Most of them probably already know, because if we're live and you go live, we know when you go live, because like ours
goes
down to about 3.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
I think watch parties have started. Yeah, I'm on gas.
Marvelous. So when you're ready.
Ready when
you're get a few minutes from to come in. It's up to you.
Yeah. It's hey Ben Butterworth. Ben's one of our mods, you know. I don't know if you know.
I've seen him on. Love Ben. We've actually worked with Ben. We actually went to work. We went to
work with Yvonne
Butterworth, which is no relation to Ben, but is Ben's best friend's mom.
All right, okay.
So we went up and we met Yvonne, and we actually went out on a ghost hunt with Yvonne on an investigation, not ghost hunt. And Lee and Andy come along and met us. Andy and Ben come across and met us. So it were right nice meeting up with them actually. So and then obviously weather turned a bit shitster, so nobody could go out because it were rain and Big Red can't get out in rain. And John just goes sliding down banks in rain, so he's not allowed out on his own because he just decides to go down paths that have got.
I just see something. I think, well, I'll just go down there, and then it's it. Legs are gone.
He's up in there, camera's gone back. So So and then obviously lockdown's got us all. So
you're not kidding. It's driving us mad because it's like we've gone from going out 7 days a week to literally just doing a few shows a week from our house, and it's obviously very frustrating when you know it's because this is our business. It's what we do full time for a job. Although we are psychic mediums, we are professional live streamers. That's what we're our tax returns say as such. And it's like your business has come to a halt. Well, it's not really the financial aspect. It's more the fact of keeping your sanity around you.
It is. It is. Do you know? It's like you say. It's like keeping it real as well, isn't it, John? Do you know?
I mean, we're saying same to Neil last night. I mean, it's all right for us if we don't go out. We've got no outgoings. Do you know what I mean? We've got no premises to pay for.
Yep.
We've got no bills to pay for that premises or things like that.
We just sat on a settee doing chit chat.
So you know, it's
paying his bills as we'd normally pay them. Do you know? Yeah. But when you've got
brought the whole country to a standstill, Auntie. It's something that we never anticipated ever.
I never thought in my lifetime I'd ever. I thought this had happened when I were long gone. Do you know? I never thought for 1 minute this had anything like this had happened.
Well, you know, like you get your granddad telling you about when we were in World War II. We're going to be like that, aren't we? In like 30 years, we took kids. So we had these difficult times. We couldn't leave the house for a few months. And that's the
exactly.
It's historical and momentous, but difficult.
Very, very.
It's driving me mad that I can't see grandkids and family.
Yeah, that's it. You know, we're so close to family.
It's just
Well, my daughter. Well, I've got 2 daughters and a son. My son was at his dad's when we went in lockdown, so he's actually stayed at his dad's because his dad and his stepmom are both work. So he's stuck there. I've seen him once. He come home for some tablets, and that were it. Daughter, she's due to have a baby in about 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if I'm going to see her because she's type 1 diabetic. So she has to. It's about 36 weeks they'll trigger her off at. And then I've got obviously another 3 grandsons. And it's like somebody said to me, just go and peek in window. And I says, I can't because, you know, if I get that close,
it'll break your heart.
It'll break my heart. And I know I'll put him in danger because I won't be able to stop myself from. They'd have to phone police to get me away from property. So
Josh and Kirsty work for us. Kirsty's Joe's daughter and Josh is his partner. Yeah. So, and they've got kids, so it's like, and the other day they turned up to his house, but didn't come in. They like stood at bottom of the drive and just waved to us, and it killed us both that we couldn't go down and grab all the grandkids and give them a cuddle and that. But
because they don't understand,
doesn't it, when you see these people that's flaunting the rules still, irrespective of any kind of consequences, and it's like, and then people's really struggling. I did some readings last week, and one woman, it broke me because she was crying, saying that she'd lost her mum that day. And then you see, and she couldn't go to the cemetery to bury her.
Yeah.
Then you look online at night and someone's doing a ghost hunt in the cemetery, and it's like,
I know, and it's just, you know, thing is, I mean, we've gone on again. We're on another lockdown now for 3 weeks. If people didn't go out, and even just going on an investigation, fair enough. You're not mixing with anybody, and it's just your two. It's still putting people at risk, whichever way you look at it, in my eyes. So for us, them that are going out are the ones that are keeping us in, and I hope that they have to live with themselves after when all this devastation is over and done with.
I mean, it's not just ghosts. I mean, I saw a story today, and they were saying basically, well, like shop like Asda and Tesco's and all them all big shops. They're saying we're not open for you to come and browse and have a look round. You know what I mean? It's like, make your list, come in, get what you want to get, and get out and go home. Not have a walk around for half an hour.
Yeah,
I agree, and it's frustrating, but it's one of those things you're never going to be able to change it, are you?
No. It isn't. No.
And it's quite difficult, but it's, you know, it is what it is, I suppose.
It is. Life is life, and we all do what we all do what we need to do and what we think's right in our, do you know, and
what people think is important to them. And some people have got more morals than what they. Definitely.
Definitely. So.
We are sorry you didn't get to go and do what you needed to go and do the other day.
Yes, as well, Joe. That's all. I mean, it was my dad's birthday on 29th, and he died in 1982. And every year I just go and put a white rose, you know, just on cemetery. And this year, obviously, we were in lockdown, so I didn't want to. I refused to go to the cemetery. You know, I didn't have to go to the cemetery, but because I know going is just that. It's just that offering that I'm making. Do you know what I mean? But not being able to go was a big deal. It was really upsetting, you know. So I can totally understand where you were coming from other day, because It's
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 not
just,
only that. I mean, we've got this COVID. There's a lot of people dying from it, and I see the cemetery as a place of peace and rest. And then people, you know, I mean, I just find it disrespectful.
Yeah.
At the moment,
we agree.
you know.
exactly. At the moment, there's times and places. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, my lovelies, then, right, take it away, John and Joe.
Do you want me to start on any of yours after, or?
Go on then, I'll let you.
Okay, so I think we've got a lot of shared viewers, but for anyone who doesn't know, I'm known as John Sixthsense in the industry. It's not my real name, obviously. I did get nicknamed about 20 years ago. I was on I was on a TV show, and there were several mediums that worked on it, and I was the only one that could see as such. We had so many seers and so many senses, and so they all banded together and nicknamed me John Sixthsense, and it kind of stuck from there, and that's where it comes from. But my heritage starts back. My mum was a very well-known medium, and at the age of 4 years old, I started seeing stuff that obviously no one else could, and it weren't until I got to about the age of 12 that I realised that there's something there about me that's a bit weird. And then when I got older, Mum kind of took me into the fold and taught me everything. When I turned 18, I turned pro. But what it were, I'm obsessed with science, okay? Because it's like a lot of people say, where does the spirit meet science come from? Because you're a medium, but what it is I went to university and I did a BSc honours degree and a master's degree in computer science, and then I went back and did a BSc honours and a master's in applied neuroscience. So it kind of gave me quite an open understanding of scientific subjects. I'm a bit of a geek. So then when I always used to use John Sixthsense, where spirit meets science, as the tagline. But then when I got with Joe, I got with Joe like 3 or 4 years ago, and we said that we are actually going to rename the business Where Spirit Meets Science and take people on from a similar principle. Originally, I was in ghost hunting, so I worked on a ghost hunting show. I did. I've been all over the world doing it, and then I stepped back from ghost hunting, and I remember there's a YouTube video of me from 1999. On ghost hunts. And I know YouTube went around them, but the video's been put up since. And that's how long I've been doing it for. But then I stepped back from it, and I wanted to concentrate on my mediumship. And then I went on tour with a few very well-known mediums, and kind of got my name known a little bit more. I was linking with people like Colin Fry and other kind of really high up mediums, and it kind of gave me the experience, and I was looking up to these people. And then obviously I went out on my own, and then I went back to ghost hunting a few years ago, and we started live streaming. And last year we did 66 million views on live stream. So we had more viewers than any other paranormal company in the world live streaming. And,
I've seen. I've seen.
We were first people to reach the 2,000 live viewers on a ghost. So it kind of made us really, really proud.
Damn right.
None of them were purchased either. And, so it made us kind of very proud of where we've got to. But I'm not very focused. I'm very sporadic. So I get myself, I get involved in stuff, and then I'm not very organised. I'm not very. But then you look at Jo, and she keeps me sane and straight. So as soon as I got with Jo, she kind of organised me and made me a lot more efficient the way I work. And so my job now is I do readings all day, and then at night time I'm a ghost hunter. And then obviously we've got other projects like the new TV show that's coming soon that we're not really allowed to talk much about, are we? But and then we've got the Amazon show and stuff. So that's me in a nutshell.
Everything's going well,
It's going too quick. That's what's scary. Sometimes because we found I went to a quite a low place, and I think it's to do with the fact that I was very. I think we've grown a lot quicker than we anticipated it. I mean, last year saw growth for us like we wouldn't ever imagine, and it kind of, I don't know. Sometimes it can get you. It can get you, but then at the same time, it's exciting, you know.
Yes. Yeah, I can get that because their busyness and the hectic. It's like I bet sometimes you haven't even got a minute to yourself, you know, because like you said, the other things that you've got involved in your own lives as well, in your personal lives, that's not on camera, having to fit your own personal life in around everything else you've got going off. I'm surprised you two literally aren't sat there with like hair spiked up and like licking windows and stuff, do you know? Because
we've got
it's
a team around us. We've got an amazing team. We've got some that work for us full time, and then some that's part time. We've got I mean, some of the people are very unique individuals, and they make the team what it is, don't they? Like Dano and Pat and Josh and Kirsty and stuff, and anyone else that I've not mentioned. But that we've got to contend then with the fact that I've got this illness, that I've got like 3 separate brain diseases, and I'm on over 120 tablets a day, which you then got to kind of mix that with what we're doing.
Yes.
And kind of keep that balance, and that's the hard thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if you're working all day and then you go something like say 6-7 nights a week, it's a lot to take on.
Average week's 100 hour a week, mate. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I find, you know, because you're working for yourself and not somebody else, you don't really mind it. You know, it's kind
of. You know, I think yes.
I mean, you're doing something you love as well.
Oh yeah, it's passion.
So
definitely.
That makes a difference.
Yeah. So go on, Joe. Tell them about you.
You want to know my story?
Yeah.
I do want to know your story.
How long we got?
All night.
As long as you need.
I started out when I was little. I used to see things, and my family are Catholic. My nan was Catholic, so it's kind of like you speak of spirit, and it wasn't welcomed, kind of. So I'd say to my mum, such a body stood over there. I can see somebody. And she never believed me. It was like shrugged off kind of thing. And then I went to my Uncle Terry's funeral, and I'm saying, he's outside in the coffin in the hearse, and I'm saying to my mum, he stood at top of the stairs, and it was like, whatever. Yeah. So nobody kind of believed, and I weren't allowed to say anything when I were around my nan, obviously.
Yeah.
And then as I grew older, started to see a lot more, but I feel a lot more than what I see. And I went up to a love and lighter, went to spiritual church. And I actually enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. And that's where I developed in spiritual church. And then I met John, and he took me down another path.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, it was weird actually how we met, because Jo was always, she was getting very well respected in the spiritualism world, and as a medium. And I kind of, Jo booked me to do some readings at her house for her. And I turned up and I thought, oh, she's a bit raw, right? And and I was currently looking for a new medium to work alongside me. And she told me what she did, and I was like, And took her on. As I said to her, look, I've got a job if you want one. And she went, well, yeah, it'd be amazing. And I said, but we're going to have to like kind of take away everything you've learned from spiritualism and re-educate you.
and do it a different way.
Yeah, and do it in a different way. And it's because, you know, it's a bit different when you're doing ghost hunting and stuff. And and it went from there, and then I started poking payroll.
I knew you were going to say that. I was just saying oh my God.
I could see Joe looking at him as he said, I could see it fit again.
How many times has he said that one?
Oh God, he says it all the time.
You know what I mean? When I'm on stage in theatres and that, you always have to introduce your team, and it's the first thing I always say.
But what an icebreaker.
I mean, I think I've got myself known in the industry for being a gobby shy, haven't I? I've got myself into slight trouble over the years.
I'm not going to comment on that one.
One of the I used to work on. Do you remember these psychic phone-in shows?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they still run. And I worked on one of them in 2009, I think it were, and. I was working with this arrogant medium, and he was such an arsehole. And all day long, he was giving it some, it's got to be done this way, it's got to be done that way. But man, we're broadcasting at 12 o'clock in midday. You know, there's probably anything up to 500,000 viewers. And I got fed up with him, and I just lost my rag. And live on air, he tried to embarrass me about something. I could turn around and go, you know, you're a right CUNT.
Yeah.
I got sacked there and then. never tried in my career because people are like, well, he's real. He's real. You know, there's no pretense there, and yeah, that's where it comes from. But I'm not half the man I would be if I didn't have this one. This one's got me where I am.
Have you sure?
I said that about John.
I know.
Can I finish my bit?
Yeah, I'll shut up.
Yeah. You can tell us when you became boss then, Nigel.
I said to him, you've took over again.
I know.
You remind me of someone else. Get up on it. So, yeah, took me down another journey. But I've always done ghost hunting, but with like, what's the name? UK
Ghost hunts.
UK ghost hunts.
Yeah.
What's their name?
Marie and Steve Wesson. They own the antique centre.
Picture house. Yeah.
I always used to go with them on their team doing it.
Yeah.
And then obviously I met John at a party. And that, you know the rest. I don't have to tell you the rest. And then we started ghost hunting together, didn't we? But doing more ghost hunting than anything else. But then I turned to tarot because I started seeing things that were going to happen rather than weren't I?
Yeah, rather than just mediumship. It were more.
If you watch on Psychic Live, it's like my mum had this heart attack. I'm not going to go through the whole story. You'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
And I got messages from spirit that I had to work out, and they showed me things that actually happened when I was at a bedside, like cannula coming out. I've seen that before, and then I knew she wouldn't be all right. So you have to watch that to see it, kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. You have to drop links in as well. You have to get moderators to drop links in on ours.
What, My Psychic Life?
Page,
it's on. No, it's on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It was a documentary we were going to put on Amazon, but we never bothered and we stuck it on YouTube in the end. So it's it got some. It got some good reactions, but it was.
But my daily life now, it's crazy. It's like,
I bet it is.
I should look after him, remind him when tablets are due, and get him up in the morning because he likes his snoozy time, don't you, John?
I can vouch. I vouch for that when I have snoozy times.
Answering all messages. Then you've got your house to sort out. Then you've got a shop. Then I've got little boy at home, and it's just never ended.
Yeah.
And then all t-shirts and everything to send out to everybody, which you can't send any at minute because we're not going anywhere, we're not going out. I'm sure
exactly.
If I went to post office with a great pile of t-shirts, wouldn't there? So it's a bit busy and a bit hectic. But at the minute I'm finding it a bit hard to deal with, because I can't see my family. It's killing me. It's killing me.
Yeah. Do you know, I think this has got to be one of the hardest things all of us have ever had to do, especially when I'm really close with my family, and it sounds like it, Joe, you are with yours as well. And for me, it's like I never go a day do I without like speaking to my mom or going across to hairdressers to see my daughter and my mom and stuff. And it's like, even seeing them on a video on a call, you're acting normal, aren't you? But then it's not normal. Do you know? It's it's so hard.
And that's it's very hard at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my mum's on Gina G. She's in high risk category, so I go and do a bit of shopping for her and put shopping on doorstep, do a run around to the window and talk through the window, and it's horrible because I'm probably upset her by saying this, but you don't know if you're going to be able to hug that person, with what's going on. You don't know.
I know you don't.
Get it next, and and it just frightens you. And there's people out there that just not understanding how frightening this is.
Yeah. And I think that awareness of getting it out there that people need to stay home, and I think by doing what you're doing, what we're doing, what other teams are doing. Go on. Creators of you on YouTube and whatever. Other creators. Them that are stopping in. I mean, you imagine how many people watch you for everything that you do, whether it's your chat shows, to your mediumship, to your everything else. You're showing all them followings and kids that follow that might be 15, 16, whatever. You're showing them to stay at home.
Yeah.
Do you know? And these that are going out on thinking about what are they showing the younger generation? Well, it's all right. Well, if they can go out, I'm not sitting in house and doing it and doing that. I'm going to go out with my mates. Do you know? So it's that we've got a responsibility that we're live, and if we can stop in as me and John said, we're just like investigators, but if we can stop in as just investigators, you've actually had to close your business down, close the centre down, everything's had to stop. If you can sacrifice that, that's showing that to your viewers and to their family that's in there, this is how it's supposed to be. We're not doing it, so don't do it. And to me, things that are going out are just like they're not setting a good.
I do get what some people say, that yes, it is the career and they can't survive without it. But as I say, this is our career. I mean, our event centre is like 12,000 square foot. It's quite a big place.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, but we still have to pay the bills and we stuff. So what we're doing is we're going outside the box. And we're doing other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think it's what anyone's got the capability of doing, because what a lot of people forget is, right, yes, me and Joe are psychic mediums, but when it comes to the ghost hunting, we are firstly paranormal investigators. Yeah.
Yes, you switch your mediumship. Well, it's not you switch it off, but you don't go with the mediumship side, do you? You go with the
mediumship is a daytime job. Paranormal investigator is our nighttime job. Me and Joe are both. We try to investigate from a more scientific angle, but not too serious. If you get what I mean, we like to have a laugh and stuff with it. But you've got to. I don't know, because I think a lot of teams that are run by a medium or owned by a medium, the story is all about them, and it's the medium show. Do you know? And I don't think that should be the case. I think a medium should be there to complement an investigation, not to run it.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of do. I host it, let's just say, and I let the investigators do it, don't I? And you do the same.
But as well as you, but the thing is, as well, like you, I mean, everybody that watches us, we class them part of our investigation team, because they see things and hear things that we don't even see and hear, and it's only like afterwards, and you'll get a message saying, oh, you need to go back and check 31 minutes 53 seconds. So there was something that, you know, you're like, oh my god, what have we caught? You know,
well,
and it's
I don't know if you guys agree, but some of the best evidence we've ever got is from screenshots. Taking a screenshot, and then they obviously, because they do all the time to look through it all for you. When you go live every night, you ain't got a chance to go through all the evidence every day.
No, not all of it. No,
and it's like they've pulled some amazing evidence, and it's absolutely amazing.
Which would have been lost.
Well, just going back to that, what we're on about, teams going in and stopping. The thing that annoys me is I'm not going to mention any names, any team names or anything. There's certain teams going out, but say it's their job and they can't work from home. But how many of them teams, if you look back on the videos, have got spirit box sessions that they've done in their house, contacting Michael Jackson or whoever? Do you know what I mean?
And this is my opinion on it, and I'm not going to name anyone, but so you imagine, right? You once was the biggest, the be all and end all, and then everyone else starts catching up, and then all of a sudden, no other teams can go out, which means you're getting solely dominated views from every other, which is going to make it's kind of giving you an ego, and it's like, I mean, some of the comments like, we're taking over the world and we're, I'm not going to and so I sometimes think, well, I mean, it's the addiction to having all those viewers and knowing that nobody else can compete because no one else is going out, and sometimes that's like an addiction to some people. We would never class ourselves as being social media, I don't know, whatever. I class people like the Beast and Linus Tech Tip and stuff like that as the giants of of social media. I mean, we're quite proud. We've just literally today just passed 180,000 followers.
But you have got the biggest viewing of any paranormal team in
live.
the UK.
So what you got to look
live.
at, teams are different, right? So if you look at, like, let's say we go live at the same time as somebody else, we'll have more viewers, but then 2 days later, another company might have had more views on a stream. But that more views is totally different to live viewers, because it's actually, for a live streamer, it's better to have low views, because then it means people aren't logging off and log it back on. You get me? They're like, you're consistently keeping that stream. So when it comes to actual live viewers, then yeah, we've done very well, and it's something we're very very proud of. But it's took a lot of work though.
Yeah, but you and Joe have worked damn hard for everything that you two have done, and for everything that you've learned on the way, because like you said, you can never learn enough, because it's just a constant learning curve, because things change or new things come in, and it's just a constant change. But for all the blood, sweat and tears that you two have actually put in to building this up, the 7 nights a week going out. I mean, how long has it been how long has it been that you've been doing your 7 night a week?
Well, we've been in lockdown now. Oh, how long we've been doing 7 nights a week for?
Like lockdown.
2.5 years we've been doing it, and then it's just come to a stop. Right.
Yeah.
We used to do more pre-recorded stuff, and but then about 2.5 years ago we started seeing the train of live streaming, and then we thought there's nothing better than catching something live, and it become a bit of an addiction. And what we love is the fact that you can actually converse with your audience and make them part of the investigation and have a laugh with them. That's what created the community, and that's why we've chosen to be live streamers now, rather than, because our official title is video creators or content creators, but I suppose we should be called live streamers, But
there ain't an option to put that on, is there? Though that's the thing.
No, that's it, and it's generally what we do. And then we've got obviously the event centre that we got hold of, which this one taught me into. We've been looking for about 3 years. We used to have a seance building in Worksop. It was a shop, but it used to have a big cellar for a seance building, and we used to use it a lot, but it weren't big.
Was that the hairdressers? Was that the hairdressers one that you was that? Salon?
No, that's a friend who runs the hairdressers.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll give her a shout. Tell her to let you guys get in there if you want.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
Oh, bless, thank you.
But yeah, it's like. So what we did is we went looking, and everywhere we went in, I mean, we got offered some right famous places, to hire, but it were about how it felt. Right, and then we walked into this place, and we got told that it was the old Hilton Hotel in Shirebrook, and it was a 4-story building with cellars, and it had like a lot of space. But we knew that so many deaths had occurred on this property, and that there'd been so many reported hauntings from newspaper articles. But you never take that as gospel. So we walked in, and it was like, right, yeah, love it. Where do I sign? And that's it. And we've took a 30-year lease on it now. So
wow.
So that's how confident we are with the place, isn't it?
Yes.
And we've got some big plans coming for it.
I'm going to say, what have you done in run up then when you first opened it? What did you start? What was it? What did you start doing inside, Joe? What kind of events or things do you do for people to join or?
Well, it was a bit of a mess when we got it, weren't it? So we've had to clear it all out, and we're doing different rooms, because how many rooms is there? About 8?
No, more than that. About 12 rooms, isn't it? In total,
every room is going to be a themed room, and we've done ghost hunts in it, seance nights, haven't we? We're going to be doing a development circle where anybody can come if they want to. We've got lots of plans for it in future, haven't we?
We can even do stage shows.
Yeah.
We've got a seated area downstairs to seat over 100 people. So and I've got a stage as well. So if I want to have psychics, mediums performing there, we can have them as guests. So it's kind of
that'd be really interesting. That'd be really good. That I think as well, because I think there's so many people out there that. I do like to go and see mediums. Like I said before, I've always gone to Spiritualist Church. I went down that path at Spiritualist Church. I have had certain readings by, I think most I paid for a reading, I think about £45 at one of these psychic fair things. And I went to, but I was blown away, because this didn't know me from Adam. All I had to say was yes, no, and accept what he was taking. And he come out with everything about my granddad. He gave me his name. He told me his illnesses. my Auntie Brenda even come through, and do you know what I mean? And some of the things that he come out with, I was like sat there and Joe would drop in floor, because I was like, how do you know this? Don't say I'm smoking. Don't say I'm smoking a bit of funny stuff when my mother stood on the other side of the room. Do you know what I mean? It was like, really? But yeah, and but I do feel for genuine mediums like yourself and like Joe, that have this stigma come to them from all the cold readers, do you know? Because there's genuine mediums like yourself. And I heard what you said. I mean, I was watching your live other night, and that lady come on, and she messaged you, and you're going to speak to her privately because she was too emotional. Can you
and the other lady that had all the health problems that came on.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you know, like that? I mean, I will like saying, I will like, look, got tears in my eyes, and then John says, "Just message me. We don't charge for if people genuinely need it."
Yeah.
Do you know? And it was like, oh my God, I'm thinking I'm putting arts in comments, and I was like, you know, and but that to me,
I mean, don't get me wrong, but what I say is, if someone wants to use my time, and use it as a pleasure activity, then yes, I'm going to charge for that service. But if I come across somebody that's desperate and needs help, then God, I'm going to help them, you know. And I mean, a lot of people, especially some of our live stream audience, love when we do live streams at mediumship shows. I don't know if you've seen some of the shows that we've done, and we've live streamed it, and it's where I'm performing in front of hundreds of people, and it's gone down so well because people can see that it's real, and the information I'm giving is very accurate, and I think that's what kind of sets it apart a little bit, you know.
It really does. I mean, but you know, you've both got genuine, like, massive hearts for what you've done, and the way you've helped other teams in past. And I know not every team's worked out, and you know, unfortunately, there's shitheads about, if you know what I mean. And I don't excuse my French for calling it that, but there is people out there that do these things, unfortunately. But you can see me and John didn't really know. We knew you because we'd seen you, we'd watched you, but we didn't actually know you two. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes when you do like these chit chats, you see a different side to somebody. I mean, perfect example is Simon for me. Is GS Paranormal. Is our granddad Simon? Because when I used to, when I met Simon, when you're watching Simon on live, some of the things he used to say and do, I was like sat in shock. I'm thinking, what? You know, I posted something what wasn't very nice about him, but I was just getting. I used to love watching him, and I just wanted him to change the subject slightly, you know, so it could go back to the fun side. But you know, Simon is as real as he is on the screen, but he is such a genuine gentleman that people don't see that through a video.
They don't.
Yeah.
And I spoke on my phone, and he is a really nice guy. Actually, he's got a heart of gold, and I think he's misunderstood by some of the kind of
many.
Yeah. But we've all been there, haven't we? We've all. I mean, I've said stuff online that's made me look a right twat, and it's just like
I've always think Brill. He says it how it is, and that's it. You know,
he does. He'll call it call everybody out as he sees fit. You know, but he's such a. But this is what I'm saying, though. This is why I think when you do things like this, and I've seen like when you've done your chit chats and you're bringing other people on, and other, whether they're investigators or they're doing different things, and you've brought them on, it gives people a chance to see the real yous. Yeah. Do you know? And
I think that's what's different sometimes, because we have been judged a lot, or me in particular. We have been judged by some of the people we've chosen to work with, and it carries a bit of a stigma. And you know, I'm just one of these people. I'll work with anyone. I'm open-minded about what work is, but then I become too trusting, and I usually end up getting hurt, and then you get judged, and it's like, I remember. I was getting some stick off for someone on a YouTube channel. I won't mention her name, but and one of the followers said, "Well, I'm sorry, but why are you collabing with who you collabing with? We're going to be the same." And I think, well, that's not really fair, is it? Because it's, you know, everyone's an individual, and we all have different kind of ways that we do things. But
yeah,
see, we're like you in a way. We're exactly like you and Joe. We, no matter what people have said to us about certain people, we've had to find that ourselves.
Yeah.
Because just because they might have been like that with one person, you don't know the deeper story going into that. You know, you don't know the background stories to why they've got problems or why they've got issues with these people. You know, and for us, we always say, we'll work with we work with people, we'll meet people, there's friends that you meet that you just go for, and it's like some might not like them, but they've never done anything personal to us. They've never hurt us, they've never cheated us, you know, so that like that connection gets, and these on outside don't see that. They don't see the
I agree. And it's,
you know,
we like to judge people how we find them, don't we?
I'm a bit different though.
You're reserved, aren't you?
Because like John lets anybody in. His art is just too big. He'll let anybody in. Whereas me, I can see straight through people. As soon as I meet him, it's like boom. And I said to him,
"See, do you know, I'm so like John. As soon as I meet anybody, I throw my arms around him. I give him a kiss on cheek, and it's like I've been best friends with him for life.
Yeah.
John is more.
See, we're like opposite to you. It's the other way around.
He's more. Yeah, he's more reserved, and he's like,
You say so.
But then if I end up getting hurt, and then Joe's picking the pieces up. So
that's exactly the same.
Started listening to her a lot more and listening to her judgment on it. And it doesn't mean what I've been trying to do now is try and link with some of the more unknown groups and the smaller groups, you know, try and get and we are going on tour, aren't we, in summer, and we're planning to link with every team in different, as many teams as we can in different areas, just to try and kind of give a bit of a boost or whatever. I'm trying to. One person I am looking at pushing forwards all the way is Drew Nichols from Paranormal, and he's a lovely bloke, and I think given the right exposure, he could do quite well. And so he's someone I've been pushing all the way. Phil from Be the Spiritual Gift, he's one of the best mediums, right? He's a cracking lad, lovely bloke. And so it's kind of, if we start going to work with some of these people that people don't know, maybe we're going to introduce somebody that they're going to like. People are going to like, you know, and it's I suppose it's what we.
It is. It's just building that connections up into, and like you say, I mean, I know Simon said it on his live other day when he said he phoned me up after that live when you come on, John, and Simon said, "No, we're not working with you," you know. And Simon rang up afterwards and he says,
"And I nearly spit my tea all over."
He did, he did spat his tea all. And Simon rang us up and went, "Did I say the right thing? Did I?" And I said, "Simon," I said, "Yes." I said, "Because how you said it, I said, is right." I said, "Obviously, I would have worded it slightly different." I says, "But it's like first, before I think what we're going to start doing is meeting people first, having a cup of tea with them, seeing how his personalities gel. Because there's nothing worse than turning up on an investigation with somebody who you've never met, because the personalities might clash. You know, it might be one of them awkward moments where my laugh irritates, or I don't shut up talking, or for whatever reason, do you know what I mean? So like me and John said, I think you've got to, and to me, you've got to build a relationship and a trust up. Because if you haven't got that relationship and you haven't got that trust, to me, it just personally wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean?
Totally agree. Yeah. And and I've been in this industry so long. I tell you, it's like I've been. I say since '99. I've been in the ghost hunting industry, and I still don't learn. I still don't learn. I still fall for it, but
But again, because that's because you're a helper. You're one of these that sees the good in everybody. I think that's what I do. I see good in everybody, and then it's like just after you've seen good in them, it's like, oh my God, they've got a flip switch here, and it's like, what have I done? What have I done? And it's like, oh my God. But then at that point,
the more delicate parts of it, because it's a lot of people look at me as I mean, a lot of know I used to be a professional fighter for a few years, and so people look at that aspect, they look at the size of me, they look at the cocky and arrogant side of it when we're having a laugh and stuff, and they think that I'm bulletproof and whatever's said is not going to affect me.
It's not, is it? No.
The camera gets turned off and you go into bed feeling shit about yourself. That's the type of harmful part of this industry, because it's like
because the next day you have to come back on with a big smile on your face and get on with the chat and be as normal as you can without showing any feelings and just being happy-go-lucky. People don't see that when you switch camera off.
And 7 days a week, that's not an easy thing to do.
You're at home thinking, oh my God, what's just gone off, and why has this just happened? And they don't.
People might say that you're putting your life on display. You're in the social media industry and stuff, and they are right to a certain extent. Part that gets me is like, let's say I went to buy Joe a ring, in our local town, and because a lot of people watch us and know who we are, I could get home and Joe would know what I'd bought her, how much I paid for it, and where from. Before and it's like, oh, for God's sake, you can't have a private life, and any mistake I make, let's say we all fuck up, don't we?
Of course we do. Everybody does.
And any mistake anyone makes, it can just be pushed aside. But if John does it,
that's it. Like, if John does it, or Joe does it, or do you know what I mean? It's like a heightened thing that it just becomes. But one thing I do like about how you two do portray yourself is your private life is your private life. Your work life is your work life, and there is a separation to that, which you allow people in so far, which everybody does.
I mean, you've got to a certain amount.
You've got to, but your private life stays your private life. And you know that is one of the most, I think, hardest things to do, is to keep your private life and it's not your private life, it's your personal time together offline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
we don't get none.
You've got
we don't get no time on its own. It's always working.
You've got a good analogy to that, haven't you? About the John on camera and the John in.
Yeah, there's two different sides to John. There's the John. I've always said it. There's the John Harris and the John Sixthsense. Now, I met the John Sixthsense, but I fell in love with the John Harris, because the John Harris is a sensitive, most loving man you could ever meet with a heart of gold. John Sixthsense is an absolute dickhead, and that's being polite. Arrogant is just I can't deal with him sometimes. But two different people. Well then again, I suppose there's me, because I'm quiet and confident and not confident. I sit here sometimes like this, but then other times Rottweiler will come out and it'll just spew out. I turned into something else.
I find sometimes you have to put a mask on, because it kind of creates a barrier and a barrier of protection. And I suppose that's where the difference is between the Sixth Sense and the normal John. And it's because you do put that barrier of protection. It's like people, if you look at psychology, people say wearing glasses makes them feel more protected, because it's kind of creating a barrier. Yeah. People sit with their arms in a certain way because it's creating a barrier. And I suppose that act that you sometimes put on camera is my way of doing a barrier. Do you know?
But I can only imagine how difficult it is for you, because like I said, we're already really tiny compared to your channel. Do you know what I mean? And some days it's difficult. I have to think I have to go on. I've got to put this smile on. But we're not 7 nights a week either, and we don't get a quarter of what you get watching you. And it's a little bit easier for us. But when you've got to go and do it 7 nights a week, and you've got 1,000 to 1,200 viewers on it, and you've got to put that face on and just get on with it and click into character, it's got to be tiring more than anything.
You can't have a bad day. If you've got a bad day, it's going to affect your viewers' moods.
I always
I'm all lethargic and I'm down in the dumps. So even if you've had the worst day ever, let's say me and Joe's had a big argument, and which we don't argue at all, but let's say we did, and then let's say I've had problems elsewhere in my life, we've had a big bill or something bad's happened, and you're feeling like shit. But when you get on camera, you've got to imagine, you've got to pretend like that you're on top of the world. Because you sometimes it's the only access to the outside world that some of your viewers have got. So you can't put them in a mood and bring them down with you. And I suppose it's, and I know we're sounding like idiots when we say that we're affecting people's lives, but you do sometimes. We get the feedback
that people.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And another side, though, I mean, you can be really down and depressed, and you can go on live, and then he comes off, and it's just changed his entire mood. So, like the Sixth Sense family, they all just, you know, bring a lot of light to us, comfort, don't they?
Yeah, that's exactly how we feel though when we go on.
I mean, we did a live on, we did an investigation on Christmas Day. Yeah. And only because we did a chit chat before Christmas, and some people were saying, I'm on my own for Christmas, I'm not going to see anybody Christmas Day. And we thought, well, you know, we'll do something then. So we thought we'll go out for an hour and a half, and we'll just go out and do a walk in a wood and do a bit of a ghost hunt.
And we did,
and we did that.
But you know, it's just fantastic, because it's like you said, the community becomes your family. You care about these people, you know, and it's just I just can't believe how amazing it actually is. But there's times when I'll be sat in chair and I'll say to John, I can't move. And he'll say, just get on to settee. Come on, I'll drag you across floor, you know, just get on to settee. And I'll come on and I'll be sat here and I can feel where my pain level goes. Nobody else can see it, because I think because we've been in this pain for over 6 years now, it's something that you learn to live with your pain, don't you? Yeah. And people don't see that, so they don't see it. And I'll be laughing and I'm loud, and then I come off camera and I'm like, get me to bed, you know. And it's like, but again, I wouldn't put that onto camera. If I were really bad, I wouldn't go on camera, because I think people come on because they might be having a bad day and they need the cheering up. And do you know, and I know if I said to any of them, look, I'm not very well or I'm in pain, they'd be like flooding with love and messages and get wells and stuff and everything. But it's like the side of me that we all have, that side that we like keep hidden, don't we? You know, because it's just, because you have to, because I think it'd be heartbreaking if people come on and actually saw me laying here crying in pain, trying to run a show. And do you know, and I'm sat crying and saying, oh, I'm in pain, John. And it'd be like, really? Do you know, it's just, that's not what people tune in to see. Well, personally, I don't think they do, you know.
But you know, but going back to the other aspect of some of our customers, you know, if I've got a bad day and I go live, they fix me. It's like they're always there to kind of pick you up, and it's like you're one, and because you're honest with them, it's because we've also got our subscribers that kind of pay a separate subscription fee and get all the extra content, and we do training and stuff. So what I do is I go live in there because we get really close to these people. I mean, there's about 300 of them, 350, and you get really close to them, and they get to know you very well, and so you just jump on live. And it's amazing because these people just pick you back up and fix you.
Some amazing
they do
that we've got out of it. Absolutely amazing friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is such a big community. But going back to you, I know I'm gonna take you backwards, forwards, sideways, upwards, and downwards, dear.
Anyway,
but going back to when you were little, though, Judge. Now you said. Because obviously then for John, it was because of his mum being in the mediumship circle. When he went to his mum and said, I'm seeing things and everything else, that would have been explained to John. For you, because it was different, do you ever find that it was harder for you to connect when you got to your teens because it were like suppressed from you? And by going to the churches or working with John and everything, that it's brought things out of you that was there, but because it was, like you said, it's you don't talk about it. It's not our way. Or do you think that could have suppressed you slightly?
Yeah, definitely. I think if I'd have been taught a different way when I was younger and it be accepted, because it weren't accepted at all. Yeah. I mean, I used to I've seen all these spirits, and scary when you first see them because you don't know who they are. And then you see family members, and also it's a bit confusing when you're younger. So it's like just shoved to a side, although they're still there. And then as I got older, I went to spiritual church to try and make that connection better. So they were because I didn't know about meditation or anything at that point. So we were meditating, and then I were getting the conversation and listening, and they were showing me the way, and they did do a lot for me. Spiritual church, I've got to say, really did.
Yeah,
ready to go on platform, and then John poached me. So but then, like I went down a different path, and I mean, I still like the love and lighty side.
Yeah.
I don't use it because I'm kind of John's way, because John's learnt me a lot different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then and also, like, we're using tarot cards. It's I don't use them as reading tarot. I use them as a tool, and also my mediumship with it. You've got to see it to understand it. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, because some people just read tarot. They'll pull cards out, and every single one of the viewers could learn how to read tarot or from a book. It's it'd be quite easy. Yeah. But what Jo does is a method called Tellier, which is an intuitive way of reading tarot. So she will look at that card, and irrespective of what it says, she'll give you her own interpretation of it.
Yeah,
and that's what. Yeah, and that's the way it needs to be. It's almost like a concentration. It's like you'll see me on stage and I'll walk around with pen and paper in my hand. And that's my tool. And that's what I call it automatic writing, where Jo uses a cards. So, yeah.
I could do it as well, but that's my preferred method. I find it more accurate for me.
Yeah. See, I said to John, when I do tarots, I used to do tarots when I was younger. When I was about in my 20s, I learned how to do tarots back then, and I got taught by a lady who were really up in tarots and everything else. But my head wasn't in the right space back then to have helped anybody with tarots, because it's too much baggage in my head. Yeah. But I've picked the tarot cards back up. Now, I don't believe in reading the tarot books. The books that come with the cards, they can just go in bin, because I've never read them, and I will never understand the story of the hermit to the king to the knight to the queen, to anything. That's just like over my head, because it's just something that it don't matter.
And a certain suit to you don't mean a certain
a
thing,
certain suit, like is it pentacles is supposed to mean money. To me, that if I look at that card, it's not necessarily money that I'm seeing. But I said to John, it's really weird, because when I'm such an hyper energy. Not that anybody can tell or would ever talk about me that way, but I am such an hyper energy. And when I go into reading cards, it's like I'm stood at the side of myself, and it's like my head goes into a zone. When we've finished, I am like a little kid that's about 3-year-old that's just been given ice cream off camera, and I'm just like, my brain's just gone free. But it's like my brain sort of like shuts down slightly, and I can't explain it, and I don't know what it is or how it works or anything, but it's just like a switch. But I have to look at a picture to see
what stands out in that picture.
What stands out in that picture is what I connect with. Do you know? But I think everybody learns tarots. Like you said, anybody can learn to read tarots. But to read the pictures and get that, I do actually think that does take a little bit more.
Well, when we were trying to teach Jo that way, because she knew tarot already, and we were like, right, Jo, forget everything you've learned. Yeah, I want you to pick that card up, look at it, and then look at the person in front of you, and back the story that comes to your mind, you tell it. And she's 100% accurate all the time with it.
Yeah.
And it was, I saw this talent emerging with Jo, and I felt she was being held back because people were trying to sculpt her the way that they wanted it to be. Right?
Yeah, not to where Jo needed to be.
And that's why sometimes I do have some kind of issues with certain spiritualist churches, because what they'll do is they'll say, anyone can be a medium, anyone can do it, and it's not that case. No. People are on the spectrum somewhere and they can be developed, but I'm not the same type of medium as Jo, and Jo's not the same type as me. So my techniques wouldn't work with her, and vice versa. So the idea is when you're teaching somebody, you find out their true path and their calling and send them down that road. Yeah. And look at all different types of it. And I suppose that's what we did with Jo. And that's why she's come on so quickly in the last 4 years. She's just blown everyone out of water, and it's
because it's like she's had that release, hasn't she, to explore herself and find herself and on a spiritual journey.
It kind of gave you a platform where people could give you feedback and stuff, and it's just been 100% since then.
Just confidence. Struggle with confidence.
I think
being on camera or in front of people. Hate it.
Don't you? Do you do any tarots online? Do you do tarots online, Jo?
I do them by messenger. I'm a bit weird. I don't like.
Well, wait. Will you please? I do tarots online. Obviously, I don't put my face on because I put my
camera onto cards.
I put my camera onto cards, so nobody can see my face. Would you please join me? And if you if somebody did want a reading, pluck up courage. You don't have to be on camera. You can face it like I do to my cards, so they can't see my face. But would you come on?
Maybe.
I'm putting you on the spot now, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll let you think about it.
Before we were streaming ghost hunts every night, I used to do reading nights on Facebook. But back then, and I used to like randomly choose. I'd get people to inbox it onto the reading, and then I'd scour through the messages, and whoever I was drawn to, then I'd read for them, because you can't just choose anyone to read for online. It doesn't work like that. And then basically I used to, back then I only used to get probably 200 viewers, didn't I? So it was quite easy to manage, because when you're reading for someone, you need to see the feedback if you're correct and stuff.
Yeah.
But what happened is we tried to do it again probably about 6 months ago, and there were like 1,000 people on, and everyone was coming, and you just couldn't do it, and it was impossible. But now with this new platform with StreamYard, I can actually physically get the person on screen with me and read for them and get the responses, and irrespective of what's going on in the comments, I can do it.
It don't matter, does it? Yeah.
So it is something we are going to be starting again very soon, and I know you are doing one night with me, aren't you? Because there's going to be me, Joe, Phil, and Drew, and we're doing a night. I think we're going to do it for charity, and we're going to, anyone can try and connect via the code to have a reading, and we're all going to do it. They can come on and ask for a certain person to read from, and so she is going to be on camera. So ask her after she's done that. Then
I will do.
It's the one thing that I say to Joe. It does wind me up, because I see what a talent she's got, but her confidence. She's scared of being wrong. She never is wrong, but her confidence is so low. But she's so talented as a reader. I mean, she's got me out of a few situations. If I struggle to read for someone, I get her to come in with me, and she always pulls me out of it. So it's like she is talented, but I suppose you just have to have the confidence or not, and it just takes time sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think for me with confidence, I read for all our moderators first, because obviously I know them, but I don't know the history for like when they were younger, or the past and that. Yeah. So I did like past readings and the situations that come through cards for them. It wasn't a situation I would have known about, because it wasn't talked about, and working with them gave me the confidence then to go online. And don't get me wrong, I've got it wrong on some cards, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a medium when I'm doing my cards. I'm just being me and just going with what I can relate to in a card. But I've got it wrong, where people have said to me, no, I can't understand that. And it's like, well, nothing I can do, I can only see what I can see. I can't change anything from what I've seen, and unfortunately it is going to be a miss on some, but there's more. But your confidence grows. I think, once you've done it once, Joe, especially when you've done this with John and you're doing it like for the charity thing, once you've done that, I think you'll be over your fear. I think you will then be like, oh my God, John set me up. I'm doing a tarot reading on my own page. I'm not going on anybody else's. I want my own spot to do my tarots, because I think it does give you that confidence to because it boosts you when people come back and say, oh, that's spot on, and this is right, or I can relate.
She does a lot of messenger readings. That's what she does for her job, and she's never been wrong. She's never had criticism. And so if you can apply that to the same in front of a camera, but it's not always as easy as obviously I've been on hundreds and hundreds of stage shows and theatres while I've been with Jo, and she's always there supporting me with the team. But a few occasions she's actually got up on stage and gave some readings. And audience have just been amazed. But even with success from it, it's the confidence factor, isn't it?
It's coming. And it's just very special. Well, back to tarot cards, for anybody out there that's learning, you said you didn't read book, which I didn't really read a lot of the book, but for anybody that's wanted to learn, have a quick look at description and see what that card means, and then look at card, and actually don't just look at what you see, look beyond what you see in the card. You know, the little things, little things in the background, and see what they mean to you, and take all that on board. That's how I do it, you know. And then Spirit Connect, I'll get like grandmothers come through or something like that when I do it as well. So just for you guys,
that's amazing.
That's how.
Will you ever do when you do your workshops? Will they and you do? Is this what people can come to learn when everything opens back up? When you do your set, when centres back up and running, is there like?
Yeah, currently our subscribers, we do an online class, and we do that once or twice a week. But when we actually open the centre back up, we will be doing a physical development circle as well. And we'll be covering all elements of mediumship. So I'll be teaching my skills, and they'll be teaching hers. And my mum's also going to get involved as well. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. But for those that can't make it to the centre then, if they join as a member, they could actually get that information.
Yeah, because
and get the same. Yeah,
subscribers, as additional to having their online classes, that class will also be live streamed to our subscribers as well. So they're going to get
fantastic
class. So, but yeah, at the moment, most of our and we've had a lot of success. I mean, most of our subscribers are in a class, but I think there's 4 of them out there now that's been with us for about a year, and they've actually made their own Facebook pages and they're giving readings over the internet now.
They're amazing,
fantastic.
And so it kind of makes you proud a little bit, and they all put that they've been trained by me, and it kind of makes you really proud that you see these people giving readings that you know are genuine and not some backstreet tricks that they might have got taught somewhere else, and it kind of really fills your heart a little bit. You know,
and for them,
I think we might be going to these. I think when you start them, I think me and John might be coming along.
Where do you live, guys? Where are you from?
We're only Sheffield. We're not far from you.
We're only 10 minutes from you guys, aren't we? Where are you working from? Well, just between.
Well, actually, where you are at Workshop, we're top end of Sheffield.
We're other end. We're Derbyshire side of Sheffield.
Derbyshire. Yeah. We're like 10 minutes from Fox House.
Really? Oh, you're not far from. We're just in Gateford. We are just on a motorway junction, but it's
beautiful.
Well, definitely.
Bill used to live at Gateford.
Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna have to get you guys to our event centre, though, guys, to come and do it.
We'd love that.
We've caught some evidence that it just will knock your socks off. There were so many times we've caught the dolls being chucked off of the shelves. Especially 2 of them. Like Alan behind me, I've had to bring him home because he keeps getting battered. And,
is that who it is behind?
Yeah, it's Alan.
Wow.
Oh, can I ask Joe and John, would you 2 teams do an investigation together with John and Lindsay? You're allowed to.
When we've had a cup of
when
we've had a cup of tea. When we've had a cup of tea and a chat to see whether we meet up in person.
Yeah. No, absolutely, guys. Yeah, it'll happen at some point, definitely.
But that's the only reason I've shaved my head, because I think I might get mistaken for you.
Well, believe it or not, John, right? I was telling Joe the other day, I used to use that Regain years ago. Do you know if I use that and not shaved off, I can still grow a full head of hair if I want to? And she didn't believe me.
Wow.
So I'm doing it while we're on lockdown. I'm going to in a few weeks' time, you'll be seeing me doing that. Like flicking into hairography and stuff.
Just asking a question on Facebook. As a member, can you watch everything, etc.? The lessons, can you watch them on catch up?
Yeah, because once they've been streamed, they're on there as a video to watch back at any time. And it's so basically we've got 2 options. Okay, so you get like £7.50 a month. It gives you psychic and mediumship development. It gives you all the extra content. So when we go live, we then stop after 2 hours on a night, and then we go live for an extra half an hour, 45 minutes for our members. And then also, I'm always logging on in the day, chatting to them. We put material up there. They get access to see our pre-recorded stuff before anyone else does. They get mentioned on the TV shows. They'll get and they get loads of perks. But then there's another option where they pay $9.99 a month, and they'll also get merchandise every 3 months, like hoodies and stuff like that.
A bit behind at the moment.
Yeah, we are a bit catching up with that.
But can't be helped. Yeah.
You do that. If anyone is interested, you just go to sixtsensearmy.com to sign up, and it's just like build monthly, but it's more it's a mix between the ghost hunting side and the mediumship. It's not one or the other; it's both.
Yeah. Take care, Tony. Sorry, love, I didn't even see you were in chat, my lovely. I'm too busy focusing on John and Joe that I'm not even seeing who's in chat at the minute. I do apologise. But yeah, you'll have to share links if you can.
I'm just looking now for.
Oh, John's gonna have a look for links and see if he can find them, and we'll share them on screen.
I'll pop it in chat. But what I'll do, Lindsay, is I'll pop you in for free of charge on group, and then you can have a look what it's like.
Oh, bless, thank you.
No problem, sweetheart. Sixthsense on me.com. I spelled right, isn't it, Jam? Yeah. No, I spelled it wrong. They even have to spell me on website now. Yeah, that's the one.
It's this lockdown, it's getting to us all.
I spelled it wrong even now.
I've got it. I'll put it on YouTube, and then I've gone to your website and I've copied link. That's cheat.
There we are. Sixthsensearmy.com. There we are.
Marvellous. I'm sure, Patricia, I'm sure John will be in touch with you soon, and Joe, my lovely. Right, if anybody's got any questions that they'd like to ask, please pop on screen. And I think Joe's eyes are going to be more beadier than mine to catch it, because they're used to this going faster. So we're only used to it going slowish.
I think I've messaged her today, haven't I?
Yeah, Patricia Cahill. I think Joe's messaged you.
If not, I'll have a look.
Yeah, she'll have a look when we finish the stream, sweetheart. Thank you.
Strange.
Do you know, I think Facebook, everything, I think everything's cocking up at the minute. Things are going to, I've sent loads of messages and emails and I've heard nothing back yet. Not to you guys. Do you know, I think...
it's been too much to handle recently, because it's like on an average week we're getting anything from between 10 and 20,000 inboxes to the main page. So so Joanne Brown, a local gypsy lady called Rose from out of town, has done readings since way before I was born, and I'm 45 now. She's done readings for Princess Diana in the past, etc. She predicted my cancer. The problem we've got is, great if she's been successful, but what does me is when you see these people and they've always got pictures of Princess Diana. She must have gone to a lot of mediums in a time. I know the fact that Rita Rogers used to actually read for Diana. I've read for quite a few members of royalty, haven't I? Yes, I've read for a load of celebrities as well. I've read for Katie Price, Ed Sheeran. I've read for Peter Andre, Graham Norton, Joe Swash, a few of them, and but then we did actually do a few ones for royalty. But obviously, if this lady has given you success, Joanne, then obviously keep going back to it, because it's all about results. You know, John, what's the worst you've seen in the paranormal?
Investigating, not people. Not
another team.
A general thing, or is it about actual spirits? If it's about a general, it's going to be egos of certain teams. If it's about general paranormal, it would be.
I think it would be general paranormal. What's the worst thing you've seen on investigation?
What would you say?
Fear Factory, that thing that I saw.
Fear Factory.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but on my page there's a picture. You can see why. Yeah, there's a picture of me, and there's a demonic in there, a non-human entity, and I took it a bit too far a few times, and it kind of really.
Yeah.
He shouldn't really mention the celebs' names, like confidentiality. No, I'm allowed to mention them. I'm just not allowed to talk about what was.
What's said? Yeah.
You have to sign, when you read for a celebrity, you have to sign disclosure agreement, which means that they can sue you if ever you tell anything personally. So, but no, the worst is probably that demonic.
Yeah, definitely.
It pinned me down. You actually saw it.
How did you?
My neck.
Got pictures of them.
Wow.
So shit, my son.
Wow. I would have been out. My scooter would have just flown out of the building. I'd have been like someone on a broomstick, me. I'd have been a witch on a broom.
Can small come into your centre to do an investigation, yes, we have got to obviously pay for security and that when you come in. So there is a higher fee, but it's not expensive. It's very cheap. What is
it? Depends how many there is and how long
you
want it.
It's starting at about 150 quid for 5 or 6 hours. But I mean, drop us an inbox and we'll sort something out.
Marvelous.
So definitely. But it's like I want a load of teams to go in first without charging them anyway, just to give me their results. I'm not really bothered about, because it wasn't a profit thing for us to get in the centre. It was somewhere to do filming. Joe, what did you think of whatever it is in the care home?
Joe. I don't know what it were, but it was absolutely horrid in there, weren't it? The main living room was the worst. Got to say, I would never go back. I keep messing about with him saying, "Oh, we'll go back," but I don't think I could. No. There's more than one thing in there, and pictures showing it, didn't there? Oh,
that's not one of the places you went and did a girls' investigation night. Then there, I take it.
I would never go in there and do girls.
Dear. I'll tell you something though, Joe. I mean, I've worked in care community on and off all my life, and I worked in a nursing home, and it's an intake, the nursing home I used to work in, and at night time, rooms where people had passed and crossed, and we'd like moved them out of building and everything, we'd be sat down and buzzers would be going off. It was a locked door. At times at night time, especially when you were walking around, at first we used to think it was just his eyes being tired and you'd see shadows. And then the one thing that got to me most was we had one gentleman in, and he passed away, but he was known as a Mr. Fix-It. He used to go around everybody's bedrooms and shove shampoo bottles down the toilets and the toothbrushes and everything else. And then you'd go in and he'd say, "I'm fixing it, it's broken." Do you know? And I were actually with him when he passed, and we went back in to have a cup of tea afterwards, because it were heartbreaking to actually be with somebody when they took the last breath. We went back in kitchen and we were sat at dining table, and I just said, if I don't want to say his name, if such and such is still here, can you just let us know that you're all right? And the light bulb flashed on and off, and then his buzzer went from in his room, and they'd just been, and his body had left the building at that time. And it was like, oh my, everybody was shitting the sends at work. Then nobody would go around corridors on their own, and everybody were working in twos, because it like really, it's.
Yeah.
But I do believe that in care homes and nursing homes and anywhere where there's been care for people, the energies of the people that have crossed over in them, I think it really is high. And I think also because you work, I mean, the one I worked in, mental health were on the bottom, and mental health were on top, and eye dependency were on the bottom. But when you worked on top, I'll tell you something, some of them lovely dears on top, because of where their mindset was when they crossed, because they were not negative people anyway, but they were grumpy people. Their energies to come back would have been a grumpy soul, I'll tell you. Because but it's
the thing about that place is we don't even know if it is a care home, where our viewers labelled it the care home. It's just because of the characteristics of it.
Like one,
a few people suggested that it might have been an abused wife's retreat, but whatever's in there is something very negative. We found a little artifact, a little wooden. Don't know what it were.
Like Buddha thing.
Like a Buddha thing, but it was quite. And we did some research, and it was actually something satanic, and we were getting very high EMF spikes from it. So we questioned whether it was. So yeah, it's kind of, we still don't know. But I've just seen someone's just said about De Grey Street. I did do 30 De Grey Street before, but I did it before they filled it with all the artifacts and stuff, and I found it was a lot better there than I did. And someone else asked about East Drive, and I think that East Drive is far too overdone.
I agree.
I'd like to go in Drive. But I think at the minute I like to go in just to see it for myself and just to experience it for myself. But from what I have heard from other people. I mean, there's somebody that's been in and they stayed a few nights. They took the dogs in, and she says it was the best night's sleep that they've ever had. Dogs were so comfortable and laid. Do you know what I mean? So there's lots of mixed feelings about certain places.
The man that owns it is the man that made the film.
Made the film, yeah.
Made the film and then he bought it. And so it's kind of, well, he's got financial interest in that, hasn't he? And,
well, he has, because well, if you catch any evidence...
You also have to sign a form, I've been told, before you go in. And if you catch any evidence, he actually owns the rights to the evidence.
Not yours.
So, I mean, you're all right putting it on YouTube and Facebook or whatever, but presume if some company came in and offered you thousands of pounds for this evidence...
It's actually his evidence.
It's actually his
evidence. The disclaimer's
evidence.
Online that you have to sign.
I don't think I'd be signing that. I won't be signing that. But it's, but yeah, so I'm not really bothered about East Drive. I mean, DeGray Street, an amazing place, but I think they've kind of ruined it with some of the artifacts they've put in there, because it's just like props. They've put props in there. But it's an amazing place, definitely. It's got history. But East Drive, I'm a bit skeptical about, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. So hi team, much love. John, you have a spirit guide called Pam. Has she herself crossed over, and are spirits of her status able to come and go? I'm wondering how our guides' manner of coming and going. To be honest with you, Craig, any spirit can come and go. It doesn't matter if the spirit guides or what. What we've got to remember is it's just a consciousness and an energy matter, and they can come and go as they please. So we can't really differentiate between a spirit guide and a spirit. Apparently they are a higher power. I don't know, but every spirit can come and go. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's choice.
Yeah. Do you know, when we were talking to Neil yesterday, Neil said, because obviously when me and John, when we go to do an investigation, I've got protections from every religion all over my body.
Yes,
I've got a cross.
Bases covered.
I've got every base covered to every religion going on my body. Right. I'm even going to have tattoos of relics, so I've got my skins protected. Right. But when we go in, we always do that. We always do I do a protection prayer before I go, as well as wearing my protective stuff. I do an opening prayer. I do my I don't do it on camera. I do it all off camera. I do a closing prayer, and like other night when we did first time ever, I've allowed anything to be used in house, because we go into the shed to do it, because I didn't want to use it in the house. Now we're okay. I think I'm getting better. So we did some in the house, but after that I'm like, John, sage the entire house. Just sage it. Because with you both being mediums and sensitive to the energies around you, do you find that when you go in, you don't need to put that protection, because the guides that are with you and the energies already around you, you could sense whether you need to bring the protection level up on yourselves and your team, or whether...
To be honest,
is it because you're more...
I'm going to make a very controversial statement now. So when
okay.
Yeah, when you put a protection circle up, is it nothing more than psychology and you know, it's kind of
probably peace of mind,
power of belief and stuff, and raising the energy.
Yes,
because it's like I can do a call out and a general statement. Does that then put an invisible cloak around people and protect them? No, it doesn't. But what you're doing is by putting that up, you're giving people confidence, and their energy field will then bounce it off. So it is a psychological thing. We generally don't do protection unless we've got vulnerable team members with us.
Just take a baseball bat.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's like...
it's the living that you've got to be scared of.
It is.
But then when it comes to the religion aspect, it's like, and it's going to sound an idiot, a psychic medium saying this, but it's well known that I'm one of the biggest atheists on the planet.
Yeah.
And it's not that I dispute that there's a God up there, or that there's only... I've just not got the evidence to make me believe it yet. I'm open-minded to if I ever get proven wrong. And what it is, because of the science, the neuroscience part of me, I've done a lot of research into history of religion, and I did a video disproving Christianity and the fact that it was plagiarized from a religion called Horus. And the story of Horus went that his mum was, he was born to the Virgin Mary. His dad was Joseph. He was born on the 25th of December. 3 kings came to adorn his birth. They brought him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. A donkey then accompanied them. He was a prodigal teacher until the age of 30. He was put on a cross and crucified, and then 3 days later he resurrected. And this is the story.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So it's kind of, but then at the end of their story, what they say is, but we take our story from the sky. It's like it's not an accurate story. We've made our own story, and it was found in Luxor, in the temple of Luxor. And what it basically says is, on the 25th of December every year, the sun sets in this certain area, and we call it the birth of the sun, the birth of God. And then on a certain date, it will drop. And then 3 days later, it will rise again, which is dying 3 days later, coming back to life. Yeah. The crux is the Southern Cross, and they say that, and on this certain day when it's supposed to die, the sun is in perfect alignment with the crux, hence being put on the cross to die, and everything, and even the three kings are down to astrology, and so you can answer it all, and that was. Yeah. But I'm not disputing that. I mean, I don't want to take people's beliefs away because I could be totally wrong, but I'm just going on what I've researched.
But again, but again, I mean, it's like we've said, it don't matter what belief anybody is, the belief is their belief, and you know, there's no disrespect or anything. Comfort to that person, because if it brings comfort and it brings them hope, or you know, then we're all free to worship who we want to. Do you know what I mean? John worships me. You know, I'm John's God.
Boss, she's my boss. I'm not my God.
But I'm getting a boss lady T-shirt saying John and Simon underneath. So
you've got John one. And Simon's boss. She's got one saying boss lady there.
Yeah, I'm getting one. Rachel. So, go on, John, I'll let you read it.
So that's the difference between black holes and white holes. What's the difference? I think it's just a matter of the amount of energy that's been able to put into it. What we've got to remember is orbs. We've got to differentiate between orbs and energy circles. Energy balls are more applicable. Orbs never existed before the age of digital photography. If you go onto Samsung's website, it'll show you that there was never an orb caught on camera before digital cameras. And so the only thing that we can actually say is an orb is an energy ball where you can see the colours inside it, and the different colours would represent different types of energy and how strong they are, in my opinion.
Yeah. What do you think do you know that I've got one of them automatic ones, you know, where Polaroid. I've got a Polaroid one. So if I picked anything, pardon?
They're amazing. You're taking away the digital errors. Digital,
right? So if
errors. And I'll give you an example, right? An old. Oh, you've got a fridge troll on.
Okay, right. There is no fridge auction. It is a sale. I will not show you the fridge. I will not describe the fridge. The fridge is £1,000 to be paid into my PayPal account. You pay shipping, and you can have the fridge. There you go.
No auction.
No auction.
Or,
there we go.
Or Robert Shepherd, just look at your missus because she looks like a fridge.
Dear.
Is it? It's not ours, it's theirs. You see, it's just feeding. So yeah, I mean, it's what subject were we on? Yeah, digital. So I'll give you an example, right? If you've got an old tape player, yeah, and then you've got a mobile phone and you've got them both recording, and let's say a spirit talks, you're more likely to kind of capture it on the old tape recorder than you are on the new technology. And the reason being is because spirits speak at a frequency lower than 17 hertz, and our devices record above that. But then what you do is these EVP recorders that you've got have got what's called IEC in it. Now IEC is like your modern mobile phone, right? It's to take something that it doesn't recognize and it will do a constant recording on it, but anything it doesn't recognize, it'll just delete and leave out the stream. Whereas an IEC recorder will include it. And that's the same with old analog tapes. So anything that's analog is going to give you a lot better success than anything digital. You know, and in my opinion on that.
That's okay. Yeah. I've been trying. I've not took it out yet, have I? I've got old films sat in fridge because you've got to keep them in fridge. So all my films are sat in fridge, and I've used them a couple of times, and we've caught a few bits. Which is they have been quite good.
I just cry when she gets it out because they're not. You get about six photos per film, and they're about 10, 15 quid a film.
They're not cheap, yeah, definitely.
Dear. White orbs mean that the deceased person wishes to help the silver person who may be struggling in their lives. That's what our Karen said.
Got any more questions, guys? For John and Joe, come on. This is your chance.
Yes.
It is.
One of our newbies on. She wants to shout
All
out.
right.
Dawn Stewart. She's not a newbie. She's on our team.
Evening, Dawn.
Yeah, she's bless her.
Is that the one that did our coach Velma?
Yes, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you not think it's not? You know, anyone that joins my team, we've got, I think it's 12 of us now. Anyone that joins our team within 5 minutes, she's got a nickname. Everyone's got a nickname that works for us. If you last more than 5 minutes with our nickname, it means we don't like you. Every single one of them.
Well, we're going back to Ashbourne, hopefully, when it comes, and we're taking a few members with us to go to Ashbourne, aren't we? And we caught some really strange things at that place.
What is
Ashbourne Town Hall?
It's just a town hall. It's just the old town hall. But it used to be a market, and there used to be a tavern at the back. And where the tavern used to be
is where the council meeting rooms are now.
Yeah, but the cellar to what the tavern was in is still there, so that you can. But actually, do you know, if you ever get a chance to go there, I think it's about 150 from 7 till 2. I think it is, but it is a really interesting place, and history is really good to that one.
Absolutely, it's. I mean, I'll tell you what. I will send you an address for KRM, guys, and see what you guys think of it, because it will. It'll shock you.
Joe's coming with us.
No chance. No chance. No way. I'm going back in that place.
I was going to ask something about Orbs when that question come up, and then it's just totally gone out my head. See, that's right. Do you know, like when you're filming then on camera?
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got your dust particles that are coming up. Good question, Trish. You've got dust particles coming up, but obviously you do catch these balls of energy that you can really tell aren't dust. Do you think they are balls of energy? That they are, like you said, like a sphere of? Is it a sphere? A sphere? A sphere of energy. That actually, or what are your views on?
I think they're a partial manifestation. So I think it's kind of there's something starting, basically. In my opinion, but then you can obviously get sometimes where the light will reflect in the wrong way, and it'll magnify a piece of dust and make it look like an energy ball. But I find when you've got like the multicolours in it, and you can actually make faces out of them, then you can tell it's an energy ball, definitely.
Yeah. We used to have a lady. We used to have a lady that came on, and people sent her pictures of orbs, and she actually drew the faces out of the orbs.
All right.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I love the psychic artists. I'm shit at drawing, so I can't do it, but I love some of the psychic artists. There's a really good medium that used to go around called Stephen Oldbrook. I don't know if he's still not seen anymore. And he was an amazing medium. And he used to take a woman around with him called Anne, and she weren't very confident. And I think her name was Anne anyway. So she wouldn't go on stage like Stephen would. But what she'd do is whatever Stephen was picking up, she'd sit there and draw it. And then she'd hand it to the person that Stephen had read for after, and you just saw the faces like, it were amazing. And it's kind of, again, it's more validation, isn't it? Do you know?
I just love that. I just think that validation's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a question for John and Joe. What is your opinion on demons?
I sleep with one every night.
But you know he's going to twist that and say, you mean he's a demon in bed?
Oh, yeah. I personally believe in demons. A lot don't, but I've witnessed it firsthand. I think that people claim there's demons in far too many places now. It's like some people everywhere they go, there's a demon there. And I'll be honest with you, throughout the thousands and thousands of investigations I've done over the years, I believe that I've only ever come across 2 in my entire career.
I'm going to say it. Go on, Joe.
Yeah, and it seems to be something that people all assume a negative spirit is a demon, and it's not always that way.
Yeah,
no, definitely not.
That's like us, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
I do believe.
I wouldn't say I don't. Whether I believe they are demons, I believe there's something. I don't know if they called. That's what Christianity called them, but they were called other things before they were in. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just
Jinn,
a
whatever
we give it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a massive negative energy that's non-human form. But it's definitely different to a spirit. I find it.
Well, like you said, you can get negative energies that people call demonic, but the negative, they're not demonic.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if someone's an arsehole in this life and then they die, they're going to be an arsehole in spirit, aren't they? And so they're going to be like the negative spirits. But
why did Joe look at you when you said that?
Because I'm an arsehole. Yeah, I love it. So it's kind of, but that's my opinion on demons, definitely.
Yeah. I think we're the same belief. I mean, I believe that when we've gone to places, just because, I mean, we've been to Sherwood Forest. I mean, I love Sherwood Forest. Shit myself, but I love Sherwood Forest. It's scary at night time. I mean, there's so many different energies inside Sherwood. And you can go to one part and it's totally fine, and then you can just go a bit further and you can feel the shift in the energies, you know. And for me, it's like I believe that there is quite a lot of negative energy within Sherwood Forest, within Clumber Park also, because the parks are more or less next to each other, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I know that there has been witchcraft practiced within Sherwood Forest.
Yes.
And to me, with them, I believe that sometimes when we go in there is that negative energy that could come out. I do believe that they would be possibly more demonic, but whether we'd have to push their buttons or do something that would be like, disrespectful to them. I'm not, because we never encountered one. I don't know how it would.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to encounter one, get yourself to the Fear
No.
Go to the Fear Factory. Trust me, there's one there.
I'm all love, light and positivity.
I haven't read this question. It just says question for John, so.
Question for John. When my mum was dying, she kept looking at the bottom of her bed and kept saying, "Go away, I'm not coming yet." We believe someone in spirit came for her. What's your views, please? I believe when anyone dies, there's people to collect them. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. Always. Yeah. I've witnessed it so many times. And you speak to doctors and nurses, and it's a common occurrence that people will be communicating with someone at the end of the bed.
Yes, totally.
That's right, in a day.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes I kind of do it. I think I've got Tourette's or something, because it's like
I don't even know I'm doing it.
I'm saying.
You just sat and you're talking. Next minute, everybody will go, "Oh, that's it. You've got a strike." And I'll be like, "I haven't said oh," and I don't even hear it coming out of my mouth sometimes. And it's like I have, and I watch back and I think, "Oh, I did swear," because it just rolls off the tongue so easy.
I think there's words you can get away with saying and words you can't say.
There is, yeah.
It's very welcome on live streams, is it? And,
no.
But then some stuff you can get away with, you know. It's how offended your audience get, and if they know what type of character you are, you can get away with it, can't you? But
that's it. Yeah.
I don't know when YouTube started changing all these laws with this copper and that, we were saying, do we start swearing on stream now just to show that these aren't meant for kids, these videos? You know what I mean? Yeah. Put a bit of swearing in there just to show.
Well, do you know what? We did a live stream with, there were a few of us on there. I don't know if you watched it. You were on, Lindsay, actually. We were just having such a laugh, me and Dano and a few others. My video got demonetized because of the amount of bloody stuff we were saying. It were hilarious. Because we said so many controversial things. YouTube just went demonetizing it straight away. But you know what? It was just so much good fun. I'm keeping the video there because the banter we had were legendary.
Don't matter, does it, whether it's monetized or not? Because that banter that you have on is just like class. Yeah,
it were worth the 20 or 30 quid I would have earned just to
Question for you. Do you believe it rains when someone passes, and do you have to open a window when they pass away?
No.
Do you know, when I was younger, growing up, my family used to do, I remember my nana, if you'd go in a place and say my uncle had passed away and he was the only person left in the house, they'd leave the window open for 7 days and 7 nights to let the spirit pass out. And it's probably
do that in.
I don't know,
but you know, Joe, they do that in nursing homes as well.
Yeah.
In nursing homes, if somebody passes away in nursing home, we actually open the windows, and if they haven't got any flowers in the room, we'll go and pinch one flower out of somebody's bedroom and bring it in and just lay the flower on the windowsill. And it's I think it's, I don't know whether it's more the sign of the respect. But just so they don't, I think it's supposed to be, again, whether it's the intent that the spirit can leave the room so it's not stuck there.
I suppose kind of it's respectful either way, isn't it? It's just showing a bit of respect, and even if it doesn't work, it's still nice thought, you know. But yeah, I'm not a personal believer in it, but I'd like to.
I suppose it's all down to that intent, isn't it, as well?
Same with keeping curtains closed, isn't it? Some people do that. Has to keep
they do,
for a while.
Yeah, that's it. And it's so much. There's so many different types of belief systems. You know, who are we to dismiss anyone's belief system? I'm here telling all these people that I can talk to dead people, and I'm expecting people to believe me straight away. So who am I to dismiss anyone else's belief system? So it's just. The only time I will say is when someone tries to force an opinion on me. And I get it a lot being a psychic medium. I get a lot of attacks from the religious community.
I can believe that.
You know, guys. So about 8 or 9 years ago, I was in Bilbury in Nottingham, and I got a private booking, and I went down and turned up. I was on my own. And I walked in this house, and this woman turned up, and she was probably 5 foot, and she's got a Bible in her hand, preaching to me, saying she wanted to cast the devil out of my body. And I went, look, love, I'm not here for that. I'm not, I'm not disputing your religion or whatever. I'm not interested. And she started getting it worse and worse. She's getting aggressive. And me being cocky, I turned around and says to her, look, I can supply you 1,000 photographs, 100 EVPs, 1 million video clips, whatever, proving that there's life after death. I says, how many photos you got of Jesus? And I went, next. Bloke walks in with a 12-bore shotgun and held it to my head for 6 hours.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and I had to get on police. Yeah. I managed to get a text message to the office, and on police had to come and get me. Yeah, and so
I would have.
But then we had the other aspect, and then it's like, but they tried a few, because I was the target of a local church in Nottingham for a while because of the like kind of, and it weren't just they were born again Christians, so they were very the type of people that believe the Earth's only been around for 5,000 years and all this kind of stuff, and which again I'm not one to dispute it, but you know I don't want these opinions pushing on me, and I turned up again in Nottingham to a house, and I got out of my car. And 2 blokes walked towards me. One of them spat in my face, and the other one kicked my wing mirror off. So what do? I dropped both on them. And bloody newspapers taking pictures of me.
Yeah,
set up.
Exactly. They don't listen. They don't take the person that spat in your face and done the damage. It's like, no, it's just you're the focus of the negative. Then this man's just attacked 2 men, and it doesn't. What they did gets like pushed down under, doesn't it?
Because don't get me wrong, the story never went ahead because the police turned up and arrested me. But luckily, one of the neighbours come out and went, no, I've seen it all. They went for him and attacked him. So I got de-arrested and the story never got published. But it was the whole point of trying to... Now, I don't walk into a church preaching, no, this is no nonsense. I'm going to prove you wrong and I'm going to destroy you. I'll leave you to have your belief system. You leave me to have mine, and let's just leave it at that. And
but you know, that's where there's lack of respect. I think that's where lack of respect comes in, because to me, like you said, everybody's got their own belief system. Whether you believe there's a God, whether you believe that there's Allah, whether you believe that there's Mary Poppins. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's got their own beliefs, and I don't think anybody should force any religion down.
But did you know that Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are all the same religion? Yeah. They all started with the Book of Abraham, Then they all went to the New Testament, and then where the Jews and the Christians stopped with those two books, the the Muslims then got obviously the Quran. But they all respect each other's story. They all follow God, the same God. They all had Abraham. They all had Joseph. But then Muslims will all respect Jesus as a prophet. But then where Christians' belief stops, the Muslims will continue and say, no, after Jesus, there was then Muhammad. So it's virtually identical. I mean, it's so identical in every way, and yet there's all these wars about it. It's like it's laughable, isn't it? Do you know, it's like same man, different art.
Yeah, it is, but that's so true. That's so true. If everyone had accept, live, and let live with beliefs, what a better world this would be. Definitely, Yolanda.
Maureen's asking if you've done past life regression.
Oh yeah, it blew my mind. I did it with Paul Goddard about 2 months ago, and it changed my belief system. It were amazing because I always used to say it don't work, it's nonsense, and then I was soon eating my words.
You was a farmer, weren't you?
I was a farmer in Ireland, and what happened was some of the information that I was able to give as the past life, they've been able to find out the details of it. I was giving names of hills and people's names, and they've researched it, and it's all factual. And
that's amazing.
And basically, it was, and I never believed it because I thought, well, you either go to the afterlife or you're reborn. You can't be both. But I soon learned that what I was doing is minimizing what spirit can do. So I've now learned that a part stays in the afterlife and a part moves on. So yeah.
Wow. Joe, did you do your regression? Did you do past life regression?
No. I was a bit like.
Is it something would you do it? Or
After seeing John do it, yeah. But at first, I didn't like that not being in control feeling. It was like, no, I'm not doing that, you know. But after I saw John, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. We're going to get him to the shop, aren't we? And we're going to.
Yeah, we're getting him down to our place to do it.
Come along with
you have to come and experience it.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. The answer to Paul and Maya, I don't know any medium called Helen Duncan, unfortunately, sweetheart. So I can't really give an opinion on it. There's a lot of good mediums out there, and there's also a lot of bad. So it's hard to say either way.
It's just difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have we got any more questions?
The new looks good. I'm being positive, Tony. This new looks good. I'm being positive.
Yeah, the reason Tony's positive is I banned him off my page for all his bloody banter and that. I put him on a temporary ban, that's why. That's why he's being a good man.
I wonder why he said when he first came, Hood's in the house, I'm going to behave.
Yeah.
You don't have to behave, Tony. You don't have to behave.
He's been on a ban for a little bit.
I have my own church. I'm my own head of church and the only member in We've never had a religious war. No, I'm joining your church, Yolanda. Do spirits go to parallel worlds?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I believe that it's just another plane of existence. And if you want to call it a parallel world or a dimension, so be it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mama Class, have you ever met the psychic detective, John? Are we talking about Tony Stockwell when he did this? Because if so, yes. I did a few shows with him, and he was absolutely amazing.
He's nice though, Tony. He's
lovely bloke.
So relaxed.
Yeah, he's a cracking medium. He's one of the true legends.
Yes. Raymond's asked, "Are you atheist?"
You have already answered that.
Yes.
Yeah, massively. And I don't mean it in a respectful way. But, you know.
No, but there's nothing to be. But again, everybody's got to respect you for your belief system, also, John. Do you know what I mean? To me, respect and honesty are two big things that we pride ourselves on. Is that respect and honesty? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's like everybody has to respect everybody, even if you've got an opinion in chat. To us, it doesn't have to just be respectful to the person's opinion because
totally agree with you.
They've got the
Does anybody know anything about dreams? Do you
know anything about dreams, John?
I know an awful lot about dreams, but it's sounding like I'm a know-it-all. And the reason I know it is because of the masters I've got in neuroscience. But I know when you go to there's certain levels of sleep you go to, and the main level is REM state, or REM, which is rapid eye movement, and it's what you. When we meditate, we try and go to REM because it allows us to access part of his brains that we don't usually access. But what we can find is when you see someone hanging, for instance, yourself hanging, it's the same as a tarot card version. It's not really necessarily that you're dying. It means that you've got to make a serious change in your life. Something desperate to change, rather than you're going to hang yourself, do you know? So
yes.
I'll let John answer. I know what he's going to say because I heard him say it to someone the other night.
What's that?
Question for you. I keep trying to meditate to meet my spirit guide and relaxing, but I fall asleep every time. Any tips?
Yeah, nothing wrong with falling asleep. Your mind still retains information. Yeah.
I knew we were going to say that.
Oh, do you know what? Right, we used to do one at First Development Circles. We did in workshop, and usually I lead the meditation by talking, but I've got a guy that I really follow called Jason Stephenson, and he's absolutely amazing. He's an Australian guy, and his meditation works with just about everybody. So I recommend him all the time. And I was playing one of his meditations in the circle. And next thing, I start snoring. I fell asleep. I literally for about 5 minutes. But no one didn't want to wake me up because they thought it was disrespectful. So I'm snoring my head off. They're all trying to listen to this. Yeah. I mean, you always meditate even if you fall asleep, because trust me, it will retain in some way, and eventually it will work.
Yeah. See, for me, with meditation, I struggle with meditation. My brain's too active. So I've tried to just do like a 20-minute one where I can just try and keep my brain focused on it without thinking what I'm going to have for breakfast or what shopping I'm, because my brain it's so hard, my brain to work out, because it's so active on everything. While I'm planning one thing, I've got like 30 things I'm planning at the same time. And it's that active that I really do struggle when it comes down to doing meditations.
But you say that, Lindsay, but I bet if you was to do a consistent meditation cycle every night for a month, within that month you'd be able to start doing it. And it is, because people think that they can meditate and then it's going to work straight. It takes
and it doesn't. Yeah.
So I'd say probably keep trying it and do it a lot longer. Because
I
you were
used to
quite bad,
that.
weren't you? Yeah, with it. And now you can do it. Yeah.
It's like you have to take the thought on board of the shopping and that, and then just let it go and go back to meditation.
Yeah.
Let it go and just keep doing it. Eventually you get there.
But maybe you need to wander off. Maybe you need to think about that stuff you're thinking about. Maybe it's a worry you need to disperse. And that's why it's in your brain all the time. Definitely.
I listen to music rather than listen to somebody talking, and focus on a picture of like water or something in your mind and do it that way.
Candles.
Yeah. That's good. I like what you said though, then, because it's like I think I'm one of these. You know, if I go to do something, I want, as soon as I put the meditation on, I'm like, I'm doing this and I'm going to meditate, and I'll be laid there, and then next minute my leg will start twitching, and then I'll get cramped, and then I'm moving to the side, and then I'm like, trying to get comfortable all the time, and then I'll be like, I'm not meditating, it don't work for me. And I think, like you said, you've got to give yourself that half an hour or an hour every night or every morning, whenever you've got that spare time, to actually sit and just keep doing it, because if your brain's not used to doing a meditation, for certain people, it might take some getting into. Is that makes that's my way of putting it. That's my easy brain way of saying it.
I totally agree with you. And it's just a case of keep trying and trying. And eventually it'll work. Honestly, it's I'll add you to a group later, Lindsay, and have a go at a few of ours on the subscribers group, and I've got a few hours to see what results you get from it. Yeah,
thank you.
Some of them are, don't get me wrong, not every single one will work.
If you have to find that one.
Exactly. And it's just a matter of kind of, and that's why I try and do different ones, isn't it? Because it's like, if you the same one over and over again, if it don't work, then I'm giving people nothing, am I? So, but there's methods. There's always a way out there.
Lorraine says, when I'm drifting off, I see faces, John and Joe. What does this mean?
Could be both, couldn't it? It could be that you are going into REM state, or it could be the fact of your mind is just giving you flashing images. What we need to remember is throughout our day, our brain's retaining information that we won't even remember. And you could have seen these faces throughout the day and not even known it. So it's hard to say. But I'd probably say more likely that you're going into REM state and seeing spirit coming towards you.
Yeah.
Tammy says, do you think you can live a good life with a spirit attachment?
No. It is a known fact that I've got a bad attachment, and until I get rid of it, it's holding me back in a lot of ways.
A bit negative, can't it? With
So yes, I'd always say if you've got some kind of attachment, you need to go and see a Reiki practitioner or someone of similar skill set. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And what would they do then? Would they help? Would you have to say? Would the Reiki if so? Like I got an attachment and I went to a Reiki masters, would they automatically know I got that attachment if they was good at what they do, or would I have to say I think I've got an attachment?
Yeah, it depends, wouldn't it? Again, Joe's a Reiki master. But it helps.
That's good. So if I ever get attachment,
you can see Joe. But it helps that she's a psychic medium as well, so she can mix the two skills together. But you find a lot of Reiki masters do have a bit of an ability anyway, and it's done with energy, and it can push it away with energy. So there is a way out. The problem, the one I've got, it's been there that long. That we are going to have to resort and get my mum to sort it. So
yeah,
not good. I'll just keep hearing them. It's interesting for lives.
I keep hearing a baby crying. I go upstairs, check my kids, and they're fast asleep. Come back down, hear it again. I can't sleep. I do suffer with bipolar. Yeah.
I mean, what we need to remember is bipolar is an extreme up or an extreme down, and I need you to remember firsthand you're not crazy. Bipolar is an extreme chemical reaction. So we have a chamber in his brain called the serotonin chamber, and it needs to be at a certain level. And if it's either too much or too little, it'll make you extreme high or extreme low. And we need to find that balance. But sometimes serotonin deficiencies can cause hallucinations, it can make you feel like you're being haunted. But then on the other aspect, people that do suffer with mental health like that can be more open to spirit as well. Yeah. So it can be interpreted on both ways. So it'd probably be an idea for you to get a medium around to your house. One thing I would recommend that anyone would never do is get a religious figure around to pick up what's going on in a house. They don't have the skill set to pick up a spirit. Plus, it can frustrate spirits.
Yeah, totally agree.
This is one for you because it's your neuro question.
Yes. John, can I ask another question, please? My youngest son is autistic and he says he hears words as colours. Is that an autistic thing or something else? No, it is an autism thing. What you'll probably find, if I'm not mistaken, Phyllis, I'm sure your son will be on the Asperger's spectrum of autism. And it's usually, you'll find that your son's probably got a bit of OCD as well. He's quite obsessive about certain areas of his life. I've lots of like war and guns and gaming and mathematics, and basically Asperger's is, and it's going to sound really sexist what I'm going to say, it isn't right, but it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, right? You can have a male or a female mind. Now that don't mean it's just the way it's categorized in the industry. So they class a female mind as the creative, caring side of it. The male mind is the analytical, the mathematical, the technical, and a female can have a male's mind and a male can have a female's mind. And you find people with Asperger's or autism would be more on the spectrum of the male mind, hence like creating code systems for words. You get OCD, for instance, very common with it. So it is very normal, and my advice is that if someone's got autism or Asperger's, don't think that that's their life forever, because although it'll never leave them, they do usually manage to lead a normal life if it's not an extreme version of it.
Yeah, totally agree.
We'll do a couple more questions and then we'll are you guys live tonight or?
No, not tonight, mate.
No, that's all right. How do you know you've got an attachment? And then Diana's has just gone up. Mood swings into it. Could it be mood swings? Could it be?
It can, yeah. It can be anything. It's like
manifest itself in different ways.
Yeah,
it's a broad spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah, negative smells. It's usually, if you've got a negative spirit, you usually get like the sulfurish smell. You know, but it's such an open-ended question that it's hard to answer unless I think the easiest way is if you feel affected by something, go and see a professional. It is the best advice I can give on it.
I'm only laughing. Do you know when you say when people say something and you think, don't laugh, I'm trying to hold me laughing because you know when you said you get a sulphur smell, I was going to say, John thinks I've got a possession.
Well, it's like you know, all right, because you always use it. You always use that. Oh, it's that shitty smell. It's a negative demonic. So, if you split a fart out and someone notices it, oh, there must be a demon here.
I think I'm full of demons. I think it's this lockdown. I will try again. What type of spirit is this that is 7 foot tall, black with red eyes, that I have seen quite a few times? Now, Diana lives in America, and the land that Diana lives on is Native American, and there is actually burial grounds on Diana's land. So that's why I'm just explaining, because we're just saying that.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, what you're going to find is when you're talking stuff like that, you're talking people that's have got a very big spiritual connection anyway. Native Americans, they're highly spiritual individuals. Yeah. One of the first kind of people that was meditating, and they were able to communicate with spirits, and it goes back so far. But then you've got the other aspect of it as well, is because you give so much energy back to the earth. You've got what's called elementals as well. Now, an elemental is like a negative energy, and it will appear as your worst fear, and that is what that sounds like. Some kind of elemental presence. My advice is that you keep amethyst crystal around your house, or quartz crystal on that one.
Yeah. Thank you. I hope that helps you, Diana. I was told by a psychic medium not to stifle my son's gifts when he was 5 years old. He lost his ability, but it seems to be coming back. What is the best thing to do?
We're going to disagree on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to totally disagree. So I'll give you an example, right? People say my son speaks to a child. What do I do? And I say what you do is you don't dismiss it, but you don't have an opinion on it, because if you make that child truly believe they're seeing spirits, they're going to grow up and keep that gift. Most children at the age of between 5 and 10 will see spirit, but at a certain age they will lose that ability, and we need it to stay that way, because trust me, this is not a life that I would want anyone to have.
Yeah.
But then I've got to agree with that, because my daughter was seeing spirits when she was younger, and it got to the point where it was scaring her. So me going to spiritual church, I took Kirsty to spiritual church, and she was like 14, 15 at the time. And they said to me, don't acknowledge it. Try and ignore it. Like, try and dismiss it. And by doing that, I knocked Kirsty back in mediumship. And I wish I'd not.
Yeah.
She'd be fantastic now. She's still got the gift, but I think it would have been a lot better now to then.
Yeah.
But I'd say
she would have been.
Yeah. I mean, 5-year-old, they're going to be seeing them, aren't they?
Yeah, it's normal.
Yes. Normal. Sophie just said he's 17 now, so he must have lost it, and then now he's turned 17. He's older, so could it be coming back to him, or would it?
You never lose it, do you? It's always there.
Well, it's hard to say. I don't know, because it's not been studied much, has it? But I'd say it probably, you're going to look at most traumatic events. Like, I'll probably say when he was 12 or 13, he would have had serious occurrences because of going through puberty and all that energy. And then when he's going to 17, 18, you've got the confusion of life that's creating energy. So there's so many variables to it, isn't there? But
does he want to take it up?
Does he want it or not? I don't believe that when someone says that, go to spiritual church and we'll block it for you. There's no such thing as being able to block being open, unfortunately. You can't close it down. But
you just have to learn to live with it, don't you?
You learn to accept or embrace, or you just ignore. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The more you ignore, the more it'll just probably just leave you.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
ADHD people are said to be the most sensitive to spirit because their energy is higher and they work on a different frequency. Do you think people with ADHD people have a gift within the paranormal? Yes, I think you'll find a lot of kids with ADHD or anyone with ADHD is someone that's highly intelligent and someone that gets frustrated because their intelligence level is too advanced for what they are. And they've got all this excess energy. And again, it's down to serotonin levels as well. So when they put children with ADHD on Ritalin, it usually balances the serotonin out to a lower extent, which is sometimes quite dangerous, but it does calm them down. But I think it's all, you just got to stimulate them. You've got to keep them stimulated.
Yeah. I got diagnosed about 6 years ago. I'm ADHD and split personality disorder, which again, nobody could ever just look at me and see that, John, really.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's like one of them. But my son, he's ADHD and my daughter's ADHD. And the other one, I would say, is on borderline bipolar sometimes with the mood swings and stuff. But the Ritalin, Michael's been on since he was 6.
Yeah,
he's now 16 this year. But he's not. I always say we're very clever, but we're very stupid at the same time because your brains. That's why I say, you know, when your brain's just full of mush, it's sorting that brain thing out. But
absolutely. Does the Ritalin work? Do you find?
It has on him.
It does sometimes.
I think what it is though, John, because I had Ashley, who's my middle daughter. Michael, I had Ashley, I think I was about 18, 19 when I had Ashley. I didn't have Michael till I was 30. So Ashley's growing up. Her behaviour, even now she's 25, because that kid never got told no. And my mum were always like, oh, it's only Ashley, it's her behaviour. She can't help it. She's gone down that road where she's an absolute nightmare, even at 25. It's like dealing with a 16-year-old child that spits the dummy out.
I get you.
Michael, on the other hand, because when we had Michael, I said, I'm not going through what I've just gone through with her for another 16 years. So Michael, we brought up and we always drilled it in from being 1 year old. Your behaviour is not an excuse for the ADHD.
Yeah,
you know,
your
ADHD is not an excuse for bad behaviour.
Yeah, I get you.
And because we've inserted that into him, when he actually went on the tablets, all it did for him was when he's at school, he can actually concentrate. And that's all it does for him. It just, like you said, it speeds his brain up.
Yeah, that's right. It levels it off, don't it?
Yeah, but the medication he's on should last. It should be like 24 hours. 12 hours. And it only lasts in his system school time. 7:30 he takes his tablets, come 3:30. It's out of his system and he's bouncing around every wall.
Yeah,
that you can. I mean, it's
they
different.
They are trialing something at the moment, though, which will probably come in next year. I know that it's already been clinically trialed in America, and it's a combination of a cannabis plant. But obviously they take the illegal chemicals out and
THC.
Yeah, they take the THC. I think they have to keep a certain level of it in now, but it does it like the same kind of job as Ritalin, but it's got like a longer time scale. It's a slow release, so that's going to be coming out next year, which will be really, really impressive. But I wonder, Lindsay, if you've ever been diagnosed incorrectly, because a good example, right? You've mentioned that you had like what you call a split personality and ADHD, and then say that your son was borderline bipolar and your daughter's. And I'm wondering because there's a condition, right? And it's called BDP, which is borderline personality disorder. And some doctors explain it wrong, and they say it's split personality, and it's not. Borderline personality disorder isn't the fact that you're borderline and having several personalities. It's that you're never one way or another. You're either up or you're down. Yeah, and maybe because your diagnosis was wrong, it's then been passed down to your kids, and their diagnosis is wrong. Have they got you on sertraline, have they, or?
I'm on sertraline. Am I on? No, I'm not on sertraline. I'm on citalopram, but that's just for menopause. They put me on that just for menopause.
Wrong drug. You need to be on there. yeah, you need to be on a totally different drug to that. Citalopram's a totally incorrect drug for anyone that's going through the menopause, because you need to be on a drug called duloxetine. Now, duloxetine has got it's fluoxetine, but it also has an amphetamine in it that keeps you keeps you going, and it'll also get rid of a lot of your pain as well. Because I'm not reading for you, but I'm assuming you've got fibromyalgia as well.
Do you know, I got diagnosed with degenerative spine disorder, and it's the jellies come out of my bottom disc, but I've got arthritis and sciatica in both legs, severe arthritis in my feet, and now my discs in my middle and my top back are starting to go, and it's affecting left hand side, right hand side, starting to this hand started shaking a bit now.
I'm not obviously offering you a diagnosis on show, but
I know. Yeah.
Do you find it hard to keep either losing weight or putting weight on? Is it quite a hard balance for you?
Yeah.
And do you ever get tingling fingers?
Always.
Yeah. Do you sleep very little, or do you find it difficult to maintain sleep?
Very difficult. Yeah.
But no matter how much sleep you have, you're always fatigued.
Yes.
Yeah. I really do think that you should be on duloxetine then, because it's the best drug for you. You know what you want to do?
Right.
Don't tell them a psychic medium told you, because they'll lock you up.
No, I know.
But go to your doctor and say that you've got a friend who's a neuroscientist, and he kind of advised that maybe duloxetine would be a more suitable drug for you whilst going through the menopause and through until you get a proper diagnosis of anything else. And I think that you'll probably see such a difference in your life. It'll be crazy.
I'm actually on it. I've just been put on duloxetine.
At my recommendation.
Dr. John.
Degeneration of the spine. And I'm going through menopause, but I can't have HRT because I've had cancer.
No, I can't. Yeah, so I can't because my mum's.
Yeah, so they've given me duloxetine for the menopause, and I'm a bit crazy as well, as you can see.
We all.
You'd have to be.
I suffer with anxiety and depression, so I have that for that reason, and it's absolutely amazing. It's changed my life.
Yeah,
really has.
Honestly, it really helped you, and it's kind of and it's something I said it for years, didn't I? And I was arguing with their doctor, get her on it, and you know what they like, they think they know more than everyone, and I'm like, no, trust me, get her on it, and he has now, and it's sorted there. So it's like, but it's
that's
really
right, good.
Yeah, I'm crying in pain some days with my back, and
see, I'm on morphine. They've got me on morphine, and
it's Butrans.
Butrans, which is it's morphine, but it's a patch, not the drops. Because I can't take I'm low tolerance to drugs. To any kind of my
because they had you on amitriptyline,
gabapentin, pregabalin, and some others.
Blinded me in one eye, and I'm still blind now.
Really, it stopped my legs from working.
Yeah, because I've got MS, obviously, and it blinded me in my left eye, and they thought it was the MS, and no, it was gabapentin. So they took me off it, put me on pregabalin, which is a lot cleaner version. Someone just does duloxetine help with stroke and neuropathic damage? No, not at all. It'll probably cause more damage. For neuropathic damage, you're going to be looking something more like your pregabalin for stuff like that. Yeah, so it's like Dr. John show tonight, isn't it?
It is, We've done the mediumship, we've done the paranormal, and now we're on to doctors.
Our chats always go this way. They never stop.
None ever stops on topic, I tell you.
Hey Dan, you all right, buddy? It's
Daniel. It's Dan.
Dan's the medium.
No, Dan Litchfield. Yeah, Ghost Hunter Dan. Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
yeah. I know someone just said, "Oh my God, I'm on gabapentin." Don't you worry, Natalie. It's not like for everyone. It's because of the mix of drugs I was on. So don't worry about that. It does help with some people. So don't worry if you are on gabapentin, guys. It's not going to blind you.
No, don't worry about it. Just stay on your medicine until you speak to your GPs. But you'll be fine.
Why?
Right. Should Joe let you stay there a minute? Don't disappear. The haunted clinic, LOL, Vonnie's just said. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to say thank you so much. We are going to call an end, but we'll keep you on a minute and chat after. But thank you so much for coming along and joining us tonight. It's been amazing having you on. And I've seen some comments coming up in chat. It's been a brilliant night. Thank you so much. And that were even before we were halfway through. But it has. It's been really, really brilliant. And thank you to moderators that have been modding for us tonight. You guys do an amazing job. And thank you to everybody that's joined us. And I hope you've had a great night. And hopefully we'll do this again. Do this again and have a catch up again in maybe after all this is over and we've been back out on his hunts and everything. And so it's good night from us.
Good night. Thank you for joining.
And come on, John. Good night
from us, guys. Yeah, thank you for watching. And for any of our followers that's come on tonight, please drop a like on ETA's page for us, guys.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
And as do vice versa, because I think half of you are already following John.
Most of them are probably only following you anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So, good night. Take
we will
care.
drop links to John's in description and everything. So you can join his membership and everything else.
Yeah, we'll drop Sixthsense Army and everything in there. Right. Take care, guys.
Sweet dreams.
God bless.
Bye, guys. Stay safe.
Thank you.